Welcome back to Get Down to Business, the show about small business jobs and entrepreneurship. You can always get on my website, shalomklein.com, and I'm thrilled to be joined by our next guest, Jubee Vilceus, who has a background in IT, and I know started Yellowtail Tech, an ed tech company solving a big market problem, which we're going to talk about in just a moment. Jubee, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Shalom, for having me.
Absolutely. It's an honor and privilege. So I know you are based in Maryland. You're a tech expert. But again, as I said in the lead-in over here, you have been focusing through your company called Yellowtail on solving a big problem. What did you discover that problem to be?
Well, I've discovered that in order for us to close that gap that exists in the IT industry, where there are literally thousands of jobs that go unfilled every day, we need to train more people with no IT background. So we specifically have training designed and intended for people with no IT background. So that's what we do.
Absolutely. You're preaching to the choir, my friend, because that's something that's so passionate for me, of trying to bridge that skills gap. There's so many jobs that are available and people that are looking for jobs. What if we could just connect the dots? And that's exactly what you and your team at Yellowtail Tech is all about. So, Jubee, I as I Googled in preparation for this conversation, when I searched for training for technology, certainly I come across with a term called boot camps. Why are boot camps not solving the problem?
Well, boot camps are not solving the problem because they are just intended for what people say they want. They say they want things fast. They say they want things quick. And typically a boot camp is something between 2 weeks and 2 months. And we know, we've actually seen the data that if you have absolutely no IT background, it will take you more than 2 months to actually properly transition. So we position our brand, our programs, our anti-bootcamp, because we know it takes on average between 6 to 9 months to actually get the training you need, and an additional 5 months on average to actually prep you, get you ready, do mock interview, give you the internship and the hands-on necessary to actually transition. So bootcamp don't do the trick, especially for the group of people I chose to serve, which is people with no IT background.
Mm-hmm. You're definitely solving, as we said in the beginning, a huge market problem, helping companies, helping individuals, which is great. And you're not trying to be everything to all people. I know that your focus is the Linux operating system and the AWS cloud computing, where you see the opportunities. And we're going to talk about how you deliver that, frankly, far more effectively than some of these boot camps to ensure you're helping people get ready for success. But let's talk about some other people that have seen success, and that's you, Jubee. I know, again, your background, you have quite an interesting story, and I know that you have a journey into the IT world. Can you tell us a little bit about your background and why you became so passionate, not just about this for yourself, but frankly, helping others as well?
Yes, I have a background in management information system. I went to school to actually get a degree in management information system. But what happened is after I graduated, I realized that I don't have any specific set of skills that I can go to an employer and say, hey, start me off and tomorrow morning I can start delivering value to you. So I realized that I knew a little bit about a lot of topics from college, but I didn't have any specific set of skills. So I actually found a mentor by accident who trained me on the Linux operating system specifically. And within 6 months after the program and helping me through getting ready for the job, I actually was ready. I had something to sell specifically on top of my degree. And I told him, thank you. And one day I will actually do this for a living to actually build this up and deliver it to people. So what I've realized is a lot of people who come to me, they have a degree and sometimes even an IT, but they don't have that specific set of skills to go sell to the market. So that's what got me passionate. It actually took me about 12 years after college to actually dive into this very well, but we actually did it We now have programs that are specifically designed, specifically intended for people with no IT background, where you come out with a job title. You know exactly what you will be doing when you come out, when you graduate from my program.
And
it's
frankly,
not like,
some really good salaries and some really, really good opportunities
exactly.
working with some large companies, regardless of whether you want to go into the corporate world or you want to go into that small business world, there are opportunities for you, which is huge. So Jubee, I mean, congratulations, because you certainly have had that journey and going from management information systems to certainly now essentially you're in education. Really, you're in education. You're helping people to set people up for success, which is what education is all about, which is a segue to my next question. I'm really curious. You're talking a lot about the pivot from somebody that may have no technology, no IT background at all, and teaching them everything. But what about the folks that take that knowledge, like yourself, take that knowledge in information systems, in IT? Can you pivot from IT, not just from a non-technical background, but how can others like you use that knowledge and apply it also in their entrepreneurial journeys? For a business owner that might be listening, how can that strong foundation in technology help them out in the future?
Oh yeah, it definitely can help, because don't forget, there are so many jobs, and this is a field that's growing exponentially. If you have a set of expertise, one thing I would advise anyone who want to transition from an expert, a professional, into training other professional is to pick a niche. Because no one is interested about the jack of all trades anymore. Pick a niche, make sure you are the subject matter expert in that niche, and go ahead and train people up for the job. And that's what we did. That's why we specifically and jealously only focus on Linux and AWS, because AWS is built on Linux, because we want to be the subject matter expert. We want to be the best in the business that understand this particular field, and we think we've actually achieved that. So make yourself a subject matter expert. Don't go wide, go deep, and you could easily carve a place for yourself as an educator and an entrepreneur.
Absolutely, and for those that have heard the sort of term thrown around that, masters is the new bachelors and all that sort of stuff. Everybody's talking about going to college, which, again, don't want to downplay the college piece of things. What would you say? Are there reasons why some people might want to consider something a little different, whether it's a boot camp or whether it's certainly your amazing program at Yellowtail Tech?
I would suggest to look at a boot camp if you have some solid IT background in whatever field you want to get in. But if you are coming in with absolutely no IT background, stay away from short, fast, intensive boot camps. And also, definitely stay away from a master's in IT or go back to college for a bachelor's in IT. Nowadays, the typical 4-year format is not able to keep up with how this industry is moving, is changing regularly. So only for IT though. I'm not saying that this is true if you want to become a lawyer, but if you want to get into IT, you already have a degree, stay away from going back to college.
Good advice right there.
Find a program that can actually train you on specifically the job you intend to go deliver.
Good advice right there. Again, Jubee, really enjoying this conversation. You've certainly shared a lot of expertise. But Jubee, as we come to a conclusion of our conversation, I'm curious what's next for Yellowtail as technology continues to evolve, and certainly in your area of focus, Linux and AWS. I know things continue to change. How have you and your team continued to innovate as well?
We've just launched not too long ago the AWS for Jobs, which is the natural progression of Linux. Now, Linux is not only the operating system that's mostly used, but it's also the operating system that powers the cloud. So we've launched the AWS for Jobs, and also we're gonna launch Data Tech for Jobs, because we've also seen, because of the a rise of cloud computing, there's a lot of data centers that need people who understand Linux and a cloud to be able to manage those data, those big football field size data centers. So we are also going to start training data center technicians.
Jubee, I've enjoyed this conversation. I know everybody's going to want to learn more about Yellowtail. How can we get in touch with you and your team?
Yes, definitely. Just type Yellowtail. You can Google us, Yellowtail Tech. You can go on our website, yellowtail.tech, or check us out on all the platforms. It's always Yellowtail Tech.
Yellowtail Tech. I love it. And certainly I love the branding that you have. Certainly that Yellowtail, a big exclamation mark right there at the end, because you bring energy to everything that you do. You're helping people get set up for great, not just good, but great careers in the future. Encourage all of our listeners to check out yellowtail.tech or just Google Yellowtail. Jubee, thanks so much for joining us. We'll quick break here and get down to business. We'll be right back.
Thank you.